We are live.
She's gone.
Luckily.
Welcome back to episode 22 of the Double D podcast, titled, well, this could be our last episode when we get canceled. A strong start, a mediocre finish, and a downright disappointing end. But we got a few fun things to talk about tonight.
Yeah. Like, what's in the fucking fridge?
Why not? I know, it's funny. I was watching Chris play in this game.
All the same stuff as yesterday.
And there's a sequence in it where there's like a possessed fridge that he had to deal with, and the whole time he kept yelling every time he died, "What's in the fridge?"
Not much variety from last week.
No.
Sorry.
No, it's good because we know which one is good. Do you want to start with...
The good one?
We'll just do a repeat of last week?
Surely.
Because honestly, I enjoyed this. So I think it'll be the first beer that we have 2 episodes in a row. Give it the encore. And this is
the double
our...
push for the fucking double sponsorship.
Yes.
So this is the episode where we're going to swear.
Well, it's too late now. It's okay. We can always try again next time. Every episode, we will try to do the episode where we don't swear. But Doug fucked it up. It's okay. I think it was because Denise was swearing so much just before we started.
She always swears.
It's okay. I like a woman that swears.
Sign of intelligence.
Muskoka. Fest Steinsize Bier.
This working.
Well, now that we've got what's in the fridge, I guess we should find out who this little guy is.
Oh, yes.
So,
The mug.
the mug. I've been talking about this mug since Christmas. So, I don't know if I ever went into specifics. I know
No.
I told you. I don't know if I ever went into specifics here.
I don't think
So-
we did.
My mug here was a Secret Santa gift. And as soon as I got it, I messaged Doug and I'm like, hey, look what I got for Christmas. Because I honestly don't know if it's offensive to use it or more offensive to not use it. But it's a mug and it's cute. And I enjoy it. I think it's a cute mug. I don't know how well you can see that, but it's a Black Santa.
It's Black Santa.
It's Black Santa.
Listen, I'm going to say right now, it's not offensive. You know why? Because I saw in the store and it had a bunch of like Santa Clauses, like decoration Santa Clauses, and he was in like tropical shorts and a shirt and stuff.
Yeah.
And some of them were white Santa Clauses and some were black Santa Clauses and stuff. Santa Claus being black is not offensive.
No, I don't think it's offensive either, but
So the answer is no. And if you're offended, we did our job.
it's true. Check the link for the helmet store.
That's right.
Sponsored by Muskoka Brewing. I think they may have just pulled their sponsorship. Or they're going to jump on board and be like, hey, yes, that's the kind of thinking we need to get this world back on track from how absolutely fucked it's been for the last 2-3 years.
So a little house cleaning.
Oh, all right, let's hear it.
Well, after listening to last week's podcast, we really got to stop doing this.
Oh, I know. I fucking... It wasn't a problem downstairs because the table wasn't very sturdy. So yes, I will attempt to control.
It
my
wasn't
hands.
just you.
Yeah,
It was both of us.
I noticed myself doing it a lot. You know what else I noticed? And I was like, I wanted to reach through and smack myself. We were talking about that show that Chris and I are working on that we want to bring you into, and I
changed the name of it.
Well, yeah, we did change the name again because he said he was having a little bit of trouble with the name. I guess because it was a bit repetitive, but I kept calling it Dark Water over and over again.
Right.
It's Dark Star, Pirates of Blackwater. But I must have said Dark Water like 12 times.
Yeah.
And I was like, as I'm listening, I'm like, fuck. If anyone was watching this or listening to it and was like, oh, I'm going to look that up on YouTube, they wouldn't have fucking found it. Because I said the title wrong like 14 times. But it doesn't matter because it's now been re-uploaded under a new name, which I've already forgotten.
Well, we have a special. We have a special here tonight. What's going on here?
Do we have a
I
special?
just see something here. We have
Somebody trying to get in? Somebody want to join us? Mm-hmm. He sent it. Oh, there's our handsome friend.
tell him that'll make him fat.
Doug says that'll make you fat.
A premiere here on the Double D.
Oh. Will it actually play?
Oh. I don't know. Go on. So.
It seems like someone's trying to get into our network.
Oh, there it
I want
is.
to know who. I want
Sorry,
to know
we
how.
missed the beginning. Let's
I
go
wanna
back. I
know
want to go
now.
back to see the beginning.
You
We
gotta
have
get
a
all the
team
smolder.
looking into it, but it takes time.
Restart.
Time.
There we go.
Starlight Outlaws.
Power banks failing. Switching to emergency
The
modules.
premiere.
Cooper. Status report.
It's good. It's pretty.
There's been a power surge.
You know, it's not like dark. You can see the background good.
To our network.
Now.
We have a team looking
Power's
into
up.
it, but
The power's down.
it takes time.
There's no like halo around you, like
We don't have time.
you know, like
Okay, sir, but
bad green screen type shit.
Yeah.
Where's Theo? Get her on it. She's
You wearing
the
the
best.
same sunglasses.
she's not on the ship.
Pull her up on the comm.
Actually, these are the black
Well,
ones.
sir, we might not have enough power.
okay,
The,
but
the
I'll
cells
say
in the
what-
generator are blown.
God.
Chris has a
damn it.
beanie on.
It's,
Is there anything on this
baseball
ship
cap.
that works?
I was like, is she wearing a
Kermit?
baseball cap in space?
Sir,
Cooper. Are you out of your league here?
oh,
Can you do this?
sir.
You're
Then
on
just
camel
get
in
her
space.
on the comm.
Absolutely.
Hide with the
Oh,
stars.
okay. I'll patch her through.
Can you imagine if I was wearing a
Theo
black
here.
shirt with like dots
We
everywhere?
need a status
Blend in.
report on the power surges. Someone's trying to break in, but we can't isolate the footprint.
So now people watching can see where
Looks like
they
they're
can
trying to-
actually watch this.
Oh, nice.
2 week. The audio is
So he changes
working,
the
Cooper.
title again. And
Sir, we've triangulated the source. It seems like they're trying to piggyback on our server.
Good. I want you to patch him through.
Yes, sir. Keep him talking.
Well, well, well. If it isn't Captain.
That was good
Thatcher.
use for that mask.
Well, I've
Oh,
always
we'll still
wanted
do
to
the thing he
Oh,
wants.
so you're a fan?
I guess you could say that.
I'm only
If
working.
you're looking for a ransom, you're barking up the wrong tree. We don't
I
negotiate.
think it looks better than
parasites.
before you guys had that gas.
Yeah.
See,
This looks good.
I would have got
Yeah, I don't know why you want to do the
Then
gas.
what the hell is it?
Then
you
he
want?
reshot
You
it
are
and
wasting my
Put
time.
that in,
Re-uploaded,
yeah.
I want to play a little game.
A game.
Yes.
Game
I
Jigsaw.
told him not to say it like that. I was like, instead of saying I want to play a game, say let's play a game. And he
He's
did
on
it,
the
and then
Odessa.
he changed it again. And he changed it back.
Theo, he's on your ship.
Knock, knock.
Oh, not Theo.
Damn it.
Sir,
Thatcher does a lot of deep breathing.
what should we do?
So you had to
To the
pick
Odessa now.
probably the toughest place to
This
do
is Cooper of the Orion.
a series. in
Captain Thatcher and I are requesting
Because every
access to
background
the
is gonna be-
Odessa space station.
A lot of work.
Odessa
Well,
Control.
These is you don't
This
just
is
go up and
Captain
log out
Thatcher
from
of the Orion.
here in shed and forest and shit.
Well, he
You'll
has
need immediate
generated
access
a lot of them, and then he
to your
tweaked them.
docking facilities.
Okay.
Comply.
Oh, Muskoka. And before doing this part,
Something's not right,
after
Cooper.
doing this part, just the green
Yeah,
screen.
they should have responded
Uh,
by now.
he had a subscription to the programs, and they expired. So he had to
This is
try and get it
urgent.
back.
We have evidence of a threat on board. We need access to rescue a member of my crew. Comply.
Like, it is a different background. We're in a different part of the ship, but even just the angle, I found this angle was a little lower.
God damn it. Why did it have to be robots? Put me on with an operator.
Stevie Wonder.
I've got a backstory of why I wear the sunglasses.
Captain, I don't like
Well,
this.
yeah, of course you do.
It's
I
like
want
they're
your
avoiding
character
us.
to be involved with the reveal of why he wears them. So angry. That's just so fucking angry.
They retaliate?
The Odessa is a civilian station. They have some soldiers on board, but little to no defense on the outside. I'm not expecting any resistance.
Okay, we're almost there.
This is Odessa Control. You have now entered a restricted area. Turn back
Sounds
now
so
or
much
face
like
immediate
video.
consequences.
Yeah.
This is
That was the first thing I thought.
Keep trying to establish contact. We need to warn them.
Cool. Yeah, not bad. Episode 1. So you already have like an episode 2 on the go, or what?
Well, that second part was originally supposed to be episode 2. We filmed the first part, and it was released as the first episode.
Oh, so he joined them together to make it a bit longer.
Yeah, because I mean they are very closely connected, but I mean going forward, I don't know if the episodes are going to all be 5 minutes or what, or keep them shorter. But yeah, originally the first part was episode 1. The second part of that was supposed to be episode 2, but yeah, made some changes, and
Sweet.
yeah,
That was a good job there, guys.
It was fun, and I mean, again, there's I've been thinking about like ways to bring your character in a bit early, because the shadowy guy, I think, is going to contact your character to come along and catch them on the Orion, because Chris said maybe the next 2 episodes will be exploring the Orion. Of course, by 2 episodes, that might be 1 now if we're going to do 5-minute episodes.
Call it
And then your
Beards in
character shows
Space.
up. And yeah, we haven't fully decided, but I do have a backstory I came up with about why Thatcher wears the sunglasses all the time and why he's such an angry asshole all the time. But I don't know if we'll be able to film it. But I don't know. Should I spoil it here?
No.
Like the backstory? No. We'll save it.
Probably shouldn't.
Save it.
Yeah.
We'll save it.
So that was the big reveal episode, just out now.
Yeah, good times. Came out today, 4:30.
Cool. So listen, so last week we talked about stuff we were watching on TV.
Right.
Watch this before we get into the fucked up one,
Yeah.
which I kept seeing, and it was like, before I watched A Haunting in Venice, and it's kind of like a clue who did it type of thing with kind of ghosts and all that. It was really good. But came across this one, Tusk, and it says, "Oh, this podcaster meets this strange guy who takes him on this weird quest." I'm
That's
thinking,
one way to put it.
oh, weird quest. Oh, that'd be cool. I'd like to see that. We sit down and do this stupid podcast, and maybe I can send, fucking Mr. Vane on a fucking quest, right?
Oh, you want me to go on that quest?
Well, and
No
then
fucking thanks.
I watched the movie, and it was just like,
What the fuck?
yeah, exactly. That's
So
exactly
I
what I
love
said.
that you watched that having no idea what was coming, because that if you were to watch that and have no idea, that would just kick you in the soul. It's so fucking weird.
So when it first starts, him and the fucking icy ghost kid,
Yeah,
right?
Billy Joe Osmond.
Yeah, who never really grew up to be a man. He's just a
His
fucking
face
Cabbage Patch doll.
His
right?
face is the same size. It's
Yeah.
like his head got bigger, but his face is the same proportion.
Yeah,
It
he looks like a Cabbage Patch doll.
Yeah.
That's it, right? And they're doing a podcast, and Buddy goes off. This is all spoilers, so if you
We're
haven't
spoiling
seen it,
Tusk. We're spoiling the
fuck
shit
off.
out of
We're
Tusk.
spoiling
today.
it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's your time to leave. So
Go watch Tusk. Throw up on your balls and come back.
press pause and then come back at 13 minutes, and then you can get into the discussion. But so Buddy goes, and then his girlfriend, his gorgeous girlfriend, who's the guy in the back, don't really see who it is and everything. My wife right away fucking nails who it is. That's so and so.
Yeah.
But it goes off, and then he goes up to Canada, and because there's that guy that had the lightsaber cut off his leg.
Oh yeah, the kid who cut his leg off with his sword.
With the sword, right? They're gonna go interview him, and I was like, that's when I texted her and go, watch Tusk. We're talking about this next podcast. She's, yeah, I already did. Well, I was at the premiere. We wore masks. We met Kevin Smith.
I got a picture with him that night.
I'm like, holy, where was this premiere?
It was in Toronto.
That was in 2014, right? That
Yeah,
movie, yeah.
a long time ago. Nat and I hadn't been together that long, and she had never seen a movie quite like that before. So she was like, "Oh my fucking god!" I mean, she liked it, but it's the subject matter is so fucked up. But so here's the thing, and you might not know this, but Kevin Smith had a podcast way back in the day.
Yeah.
And that movie, the premise of it, all the story of it was discussed on this podcast, because I think it was Scott Mosier, who's usually, I think it was Mosier, who's one of Smith's producers. It was somebody, and they were talking about just weird shit that gets seen on like message boards and bars and stuff.
What the weird shit was, because if I had to look it up.
Oh, of course, I figured you might.
So what the weird shit was that there's somebody was renting a room, and there was a condition in that every once in a while the person would have to dress up like a walrus.
Yeah.
That was a condition. So they took that premise and then
they just started joking with it. And they started coming up with this whole story and this whole idea of like how fucked up it would be if like the person was nuts. And right up to like the description of how the movie ends. The whole bit about how the last scene of the movie would be, and they're laughing their asses off while they're discussing this. They actually filmed it like that. Like the final scene of the movie.
So they basically wrote it in the podcast. They
basically wrote the premise of it, and then people kept talking about it, and they were like, "Oh, you should actually make that movie." And they were kind of, Smith would hear it for years and years that he should try to make this fucked up body horror movie, and then he finally went and did it. And yeah, again, I was at the premiere, and I did not know what to expect, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
So the guy gets up to Winnipeg or wherever, and fucking the guy he's going to interview killed himself because they were making fun of him.
Yeah.
So as he was leaving, he goes to this bar and
sees something on a message board about a guy
with all sorts of stories and shit.
Yeah, just incredible stories that he wants to tell somebody. And he's like really wealthy and just wants to share his stories. So he contacts this guy and goes up and meets with him and has dinner with him. And then he gets drugged. And when he wakes up, realizes this guy's nuts, and the guy starts to...
He's missing one leg the first time.
The first time he cuts off one of the guy's legs and says that a spider bit him. And that the spider was poisonous, and the only way to save him was to surgically amputate his leg, and he couldn't risk calling an ambulance because they wouldn't have got there in time. And he just starts to manipulate this guy and slowly mutilate his body and cut his limbs off and surgically alter him. And it goes from, I think the last time you see him, he's got all of his limbs have been removed, most of his limbs anyway, and he's just got like
flippers.
Yeah, and then the next scene is the complete transformation and it's Michael Parks, who's a phenomenal actor, who played the crazy guy. He's basically turned this guy into a walrus. He has grafted all of this skin all over his body, changed his proportions, eliminated his limbs, and turned him into a fucking walrus.
Right, because he's telling the story because when he was younger, World War II and Hemingway and all these experiences he's had, and he was on this ship, and the ship sank, and he was the only survivor, and he ended up on this little island, and his only friendship became a walrus.
Yeah, and he became upset. His mind was broken from all the trauma and all the loneliness.
So he eventually had to eat the walrus because he was starving to death.
Yeah.
So he always wanted to get his friend back.
And he goes about it by this absolutely awful, fucking terrible.
Yes, and so his partner, the I See Dead Kids fucking Cabbage Patch doll and his girlfriend, they come up to Canada looking for him, and the police don't give him the time of day.
So they hire a private investigator.
Right, from Quebec. That private investigator is
Johnny fucking Depp.
Right.
And the reason it's Johnny Depp, actually, is because Kevin Smith, you probably might have researched this too.
Yeah.
His daughter and Kevin and Johnny Depp's daughter are friends. I think they went to the same school together, same private school. And so Johnny Depp had always said, "Oh, I'd love to work on a project with you." And he comes in with like heavy makeup. It was still really obvious it was him. Everybody fucking knew it was him.
Yeah, but when he does characters, he transforms into somebody different.
And he transformed into this gross Quebec person with just irritable bowel syndrome and eating way too much poutine.
And their daughters were in it too.
Yeah, the daughters were in it, and actually
they were in the grocery store, supermarket behind the counter.
Yeah, and they did another movie. He did 3 movies, I think, or he was going to do 3 movies that were in the universe of Tusk. The first one was Tusk. The second one was about the girls in the convenience store, and I never watched it, and I never heard anything about it. I think it was called Hoosers or something like that. Muskoka. And then there was supposed to be a third, but I never saw that. But yeah, Smith's daughter was also in the Jay and Silent Bob reboot, which is, I think, the movie he did maybe 2 movies after Tusk. But
right,
if you were to watch all of Kevin Smith's movies from Clerks all the way up to his most recent, which I think was Clerks 3, what a fucking a ride that makes no sense. Because you've got a movie in there like Tusk, which is him attempting horror. And it's good. It's unhinged. It will fucking mess you up. And then you got a movie like Red State, which is probably my favorite Kevin Smith movie. It's proof that he could make a movie that almost feels like it's not him at all. It's like his directing style has always been very tongue-in-cheek and jokes and dick and farts and all that. And then he really wanted to make something out of that, and he made Red State, and that's the first time he worked with Michael Parks, and Michael Parks was fucking amazing in this movie. And the subject matter is really, it could put a lot of people in an uncomfortable place. But have you ever heard of Red State?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, have you watched it?
I don't think so.
No, Michael Parks, John Goodman. John Goodman's fucking fantastic in it, and that's probably my favorite Kevin Smith movie because it really showed what he's capable of. For making like I wouldn't call it an action movie, but it's like a drama thriller, but there is a big action element in it because it's essentially about a siege at a religious compound.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have it on Blu-ray. If I do, I'll find it and I'll lend it to you because it's hard to get a hold of it.
Right.
It's not streaming everywhere, but I think you'd appreciate it.
Sure.
But yeah, Tusk turns your guts. Definitely. And
listen, and then the ending. So the ending they show, Johnny Depp's character is gonna fucking shoot him because he's just a fucking creature now, right?
Yeah.
But then it fades away, and then he's at some
like an abandoned circus aquarium or something.
Yeah, just some place, and fucking I See Dead people, Cabbage Patch doll, and the girlfriend fucking come to see him, and they're up on the thing, and they coax him out of his little igloo thing. He's around the pool, and
he comes waddling out. He's not human. He's basically not human anymore.
He's a fucking walrus.
He's been completely dehumanized. Can't speak.
And she throws him a fucking like, I brought you a fish, and throws a fish down to him. And she goes, "Well, I still love you." And then they leave. It's like, how fucking cruel can you be? Like leave the fucking, let him, like, you just fucking put all the memories of him being a human and screwing her and everything back into his fucking head.
Yeah, there's that moment.
That was such a cruel ending.
I know. There's that moment where he's like looking up, and it's like he's trying to.
Tears
he wants to be.
His eyes. Yeah.
It's just, and he was kind of a shitty person. Like I don't remember specifically. I mean, yeah, his girlfriend's cheating on him.
He was cheating on her too.
Yeah, he was cheating on her. He's kind of a dirtbag, but I mean, even he didn't deserve that. Like. That's something you wish on your worst fucking enemies, and like when I don't even know, that's still though, and that whole ending was so fucking shitty for them to do that. It does leaves like a bad taste in your soul. But yeah, they were on the podcast talking about the whole situation and them standing there and looking down and. He's like, oh, give him the treat, and throws them a fucking fish, and then they leave him there by himself to live out the rest of his fucking. Like, imagine the amount of infection that would be going on with all that skin on that suit rotting around him, and they didn't really show that it had rotted, but it was covered in just layers of human skin that shaped into a walrus. You can't tell me that wouldn't all be rotting and festering, and he'd be dying of just.
Well, the guy experimented on other people.
He did, because there's at one point he goes underwater and you see all the other failed experiments. Yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah. And even Johnny Depp's character talks about how he almost caught this guy way back when.
Yeah, he had him.
For the missing people and all that.
But. And then, the character was doing that goofy accent, thinking the cop was there to...
Yeah.
Because he called about a spider a bunch of times.
That's right, yeah.
I was watching that scene. I was like, this scene's kind of weird, but... It's like it kind of downshifts in a way. It was like the whole Johnny Depp character. It felt like a lot of his scene could have been cut to be tighter. But it's like, if Kevin Smith has Johnny Depp doing his movie, is he going to cut out any of his dialogue? No. He's like, oh, okay, everything you do and say is brilliant. We'll just keep it all in. Yeah. That's how it felt. But Tusk, definitely one that. Yeah. If you like horror, body horror, then that's a It's one of those movies that'll stick with you though. I mean, it's not nearly as bad as some of the other shit that's out there, but it's
good.
Something.
It's good, bad.
Must go. I watched another one I'd been meaning to watch for a while. Spooky movie. I thought it was going to be a lot more. Body horror, gross, disgusting, but it was more, a lot of it was psychological. There were some kind of gross scenes, but it's this movie called Fresh. You ever heard of that? It's on Disney, if you can believe that. And it's about a girl who's having trouble in the dating world and, just can't seem to meet a legitimate nice guy. Goes on all these shitty dates with a bunch of betas. And she's out one day at the grocery store and just runs into this guy who, it's making polite conversation, talking about these grapes that apparently taste like cotton candy. And so they're joking about that. And he's like, yeah, I'm buying these for my sister. And my niece doesn't believe that they really exist. And he's like, they have a little moment. And he's like, hey, would it be weird if I asked for your number? She's like, no. So gets her number. And a couple of days later, texts her. And they end up going on this really nice date, really hitting it off. He's like a nice, legitimate guy. He's a surgeon. He's got a good job. And she's like, wow, this guy's amazing. And they go on a bunch of dates and he seems like a nice, normal guy. And then one day he's like, hey, do you want to go away for the weekend? She's like, yeah, let's do that. Seems like the next step in a relationship. And up until this moment, if you'd been watching this movie and had no idea what it was about, you think, oh, it's kind of a sweet romantic comedy, or a sweet, not romantic comedy, but a drama, a romance. So anyways, he gets her to his house and drugs her, and she wakes up chained up in the basement, and he has this great line where he's like, okay, I'm gonna tell you why you're here, but you're gonna freak out. And you're just like, what the
Great.
fuck? And you discover that, and Sebastian Sands is playing this guy. I don't know if you know who he is. He's he does some acting in Marvel, but very handsome guy. He looks like Mark Hamill, like a young Mark Hamill. Like he could play Luke Skywalker if they wanted to do like a reboot. So he tells her that he's going to sell her meat, but he's going to keep her alive. So what he does is he abducts women and he surgically removes the meat from their bodies, keeps them alive so that it stays fresh when he goes to remove more.
And he sells them to what people?
And he sells them to the elites. These guys that pay insane amounts of money to get fresh meat that has been cut from women. And when there's a scene where it looks like a guy in a kitchen. He's got this friggin' machine going, and he's separating the meat, and he's saran wrapping it and locking it up, and he's putting it in these boxes with like trinkets and articles of clothing, and like basically like here's what you ordered, here's some of her clothes, here's something so that you can kind of know who the person is that you're consuming. And you see these like elite types opening these boxes and having the meat prepared in all these different ways. It was fucked up. Now the scenes of like the surgical scenes were a little bit unsettling, but they weren't like over the top grotesquely like open messed up shit. But there were a couple of times where it was like he would be performing a procedure and you had an idea of what he was doing. It wasn't like he was being a butcher. He wasn't like the girls would be under anesthesia. They weren't feeling any pain, but then they would be like in recovery after. And there's a few of them, and some of them are in better shape than others. Some of them have been like there for a while and have had multiple pieces of their body removed. And it was fucked up. And it's about this girl and how she,
That's fucked up.
well, she figures that I don't want to spoil it completely, but she figures out what she needs to do. And it was decent. It was a decent horror movie. A couple of times it was a little. I felt like there were, I don't know, tone shifts a little bit. Like his character did this thing where when he was like in surgery mode, he got very silly. It was almost like he could finally be himself. He didn't have to pretend to be this nice, charming guy. He was a little bit kooky. That was kind of an interesting choice, but
a little bit kooky.
A little bit kooky, yeah. But yeah, it was an interesting flick. Now there's two movies that I find they came out around the same time, and they're very different, but they have, I would almost say, similar endings. Have you seen The Menu?
No.
No? Have you seen Ready or Not?
No.
Okay. Well, those are two that I would recommend. Both good spooky movies. Oh, well, actually, no, they're not spooky. I mean, I don't even know if you'd classify them as horror movies. But I kind of wanted to ask you, like, which of the endings did you prefer? Because they have the one thing that they do have in common is just this moment at the end. And after watching both of them, I was like, oh, these are kind of like interesting parallels. But both great movies, both great horror movies. The Menu is about a bunch of people going to like a very exclusive island where everything's prepared by a team of like master chefs. And the more time they spend there, the more they realize there's something off. There's something kind of nuts going on. I won't spoil it, but that's the setup for that. And Ready or Not has this fantastic setup where this girl's marrying into this family, and they're very, very rich. And they have a ritual that they do every time somebody marries into the family. Mm-hmm. They tell the story of how their family got its wealth. And
I know what that movie is.
Ready or Not?
Yeah. I might have even seen it.
And they play hide and seek.
Yeah. I think I've seen it. At least I know what it's. I know roughly what it's about.
Yeah,
so yeah. I know that one.
I watched it and I liked it so much. I was like, and Nat saw me watching some of it. She's like, "What is this?" And I'm like, I want you to watch this movie with me. Like, I want to watch it again. And she's like, "Oh, if you've already seen it, I don't want to." I'm like, No. I want to see it again. I want to see it with you, and I want to see how you react to some of the shit that happens in this movie. There's one scene involving I'm not even going to say it. It's just It's the one that makes you go, oh god, one of those. And it's not like over the top, hyper gory or super scary. It's just they capture this moment of like an injury and then a situation that involves the injury, and it's like, oh fuck, and it's a hand thing.
Great.
But yeah, those two I would recommend. Those are two of the horror movies or thrillers that have come out in the last 10 years or so that I've actually really enjoyed.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, horror movies. We love talking about that shit. I'm sorry, that was a hyper fucking rant. That was like a 3-movie rant. Apologies.
Well, you know, a couple episodes ago we talked about sequels and shit.
Yeah.
Well, there's a whole bunch of sequels that are coming out that we never even touched upon.
Were these revealed at the Super Bowl?
I think so. I don't know. I don't.
They dropped
I don't
a whole
watch
bunch of
sports,
trailers.
so I don't know. Right?
Neither do I. But the trailer.
But Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
I haven't seen the trailer, but I saw.
I watched the trailer actually just before you got here.
Is that related to the other trilogy?
I believe it is.
Is it a
I'm not
follow-up
100%.
to War of the Planet of the Apes? The one with Woody Harrelson?
I think it is.
So is Caesar still a character in it?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know from the things that I saw. Not 100%.
All right.
Um,
I still got to watch the trailer. I saw the trailer for Twisters.
Twisters.
Yeah.
Obviously from Twister, right? It's
I'm not.
I don't know if it's a sequel, but it's a remake or whatever it is, or just kind of the same story type.
I mean, there were
Twisters.
Yeah, there were some moments that I was watching, and I'm like, okay, this kind of feels like a scene from Twister, and the character dynamic looked a little bit similar, but I don't know if it's a straight sequel. I mean, I'd be interested to see. I mean, so much time has passed from the original Twister that, like, you could say that Joe and I can't remember what Bill Paxton's character's name was. You could say that they maybe had a kid, and the kid's grown up now because it's like 20-something years later.
Right.
But yeah,
that'd be cool to see. King Kong versus Godzilla.
They already did that. Kong versus... Is it another one?
March 29th.
Is it a second one?
Godzilla versus King Kong. March 29th coming out.
They already did.
Planet of the Apes, May 10th.
They did a Godzilla
I know they have.
versus King Kong.
Well, they're doing another one.
They became friends at the end, damn it. They had to fight Robot Godzilla together. There's a scene. Did you see that one?
I don't think so.
It was
they
a
had
little...
to fight a fucking robot at the end? I don't think so.
At the well, it's Robot Godzilla. That's like a huge part of the Godzilla world. The humans build, and
I
they
used
build
to
it.
I used to love watching Sunday afternoons the original Godzilla.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
There's a Godzilla movie that got made recently.
Mothra and fucking all those.
Yeah,
monsters,
they it's a foreign one, and it's called Godzilla -1. And it's a like a lot of the Godzilla movies lately. Godzilla's been kind of he's a protector of the Earth. He comes out to reestablish balance whenever any of the kaiju creatures, whatever, arise. But Godzilla -1, Godzilla's the bad guy. He's just an asshole who destroys everything. And it's about, I think it focuses on like a group of fishermen on this boat that try to do something to stop him from like attacking the shoreline. It's one of the main focuses of it. But from people who are fans of Godzilla and some of the reviewers I like to watch online have said it's like one of the best Godzilla movies that's been done recently. Yeah. I want to watch it. I just don't have a platform.
-1.
Yeah.
I'm not to look that one up.
I'm not sure where you can watch it, but I do want to watch it.
Yeah. And then this one here at the end, it's with Steven Smeagol. Out for Precious. Oh, if you can see that, but I'm trying to get in here. Hold on.
I'd rather watch that than any Steven Seagal movie. Out for Precious.
It's backwards, but it says Steven Smeagol. Out for Precious.
Oh, I was just talking to Nat tonight about Lord of the Rings. I don't remember what it was. We were talking about something to do with movies, and I was like, have I ever recommended anything for us to watch that you haven't liked? Like most of the stuff I recommend that I try to get her to watch. It's stuff I'm pretty sure she's gonna like. And then there's a lot of things that I know she wouldn't or wouldn't have kind of the patience for. So I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna ask you to watch that. Lord of the Rings, I love it. I've watched it numerous times. I think she might like it, but it's so much, it's so long each one that I think she'd. I don't know if she'd be fully into it. But
it was cool when we went down to see the symphony playing the music.
Jealousy.
Yeah,
I was like
that was
instant
pretty
jealousy.
Awesome. Well, you're too busy doing your fucking space fucking Star Trek fucking Blackwater, whatever it's called.
Dark water. Hey, it doesn't take that long to do that. Chris has to spend like 26 hours editing it. I just have to show up and shoot my scenes and leave. So I've wanted to, and maybe me and my brother-in-law will do it one time because he's a huge Lord of the Rings fan. Like one of the times they're doing it, I feel like that's the way you have to watch it.
So it was the second movie. So I wonder if they've done the first one before.
I'm sure they've done all of them. That's the one I wouldn't want to watch that way, though. I feel like you'd have to watch the third one would have like the most intense sequences with the music.
I don't know. Fuck.
The opening Balrog scene of the second one, though, the music for that must have been a great way to get it started.
The whole thing was sometimes I got immersed in watching the screen that I totally forgot the whole soundtrack was coming from people right here.
Yeah,
playing everything, right, and a choir and shit, and people singing and all that. But yeah, it was good.
It's on my bucket
do other
list.
Movies and other shows too, though. Like I think they did Star Wars and they had some other stuff.
And that's the thing. Star Wars, I'd want to see that. I mean, fuck, Game of Thrones. I don't know if no, but Star Wars, Lord of the Rings,
TV series, but you'd have to have a.
And I mean,
actually, there's an intermission too, right?
It's a big ass movie. It's like 3 hours. Was it the extended edition or the regular edition?
I think it was it was at least the regular one. If not, they might have even cut out a couple of slow spots. Can't remember exactly, but
I remember when I read the books. I read the first one in like 2 weeks, and it took me 6 months to read The Two Towers because I'd start and then I'd put it down, and then I wouldn't read it for a long period of time. I just got caught in the middle at one point, and then I was like, okay, I got to finish this, and then I finished it. But it was a tougher read. I'm sure if I was reading it again for the second or third time, because I'm pretty sure I read Lord of the Rings twice. I read Fellowship, I think, 3 times. I think it would be an easier read the second time, but that first time, it was a little tougher to get through. Yeah.
But we spoke about it one podcast of me going there, right? Did we?
Well, you going to New Zealand?
Yeah.
And did you do the walking?
No. Going and watching the show.
Which show?
The orchestra and stuff. Did we not speak about it on the podcast?
I think you did, yeah.
Oh. I was talking about how people were laughing, like scenes are. It's kind of funny, right? So the reactions, and there's people like laughing like it's the first time they ever seen it.
And shit, who knows? Maybe it was the first time.
No fucking way. Every fucking geek in that fucking place, even the ones with the fucking Spock ears. Right? There's no way.
Well, some people, even though they've seen it 6 or 7 times, they still laugh.
It's like some of them actually started laughing before the joke was told.
And that's the anticipation.
Because they knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Or like when Aragorn walks into the fucking, opens the doors and on the king, they're all like, yeah. But you didn't know that was going to fucking happen?
No, but they're just celebrating. They're so happy that it happened.
No, it was annoying. I found it annoying. I found it
give me casual fans.
I thought I was a nerd, but some of those people were fucking nerds.
Give me casual fans any day. Like, there's so many purists out there that are like, oh, well, if you're not this and then that, then you're not a real fan. It's like, if you say that to anybody, then you're not a real fan. You're an asshole.
Yeah.
Like,
but it was awesome.
I get some people, it's a way of life. when they really, really like something, but
listen,
don't shit on people that aren't obsessed with it.
Listen, people that get obsessed with fucking certain things like that, or fucking Taylor Swift, and they fucking die. Well, whoever the fucking musician may be, some people get so, it's like, relax. Yeah, you may like them, they have great songs, you have fun or whatever, but do you gotta freak out?
No, when I get sad when people I like die. I remember the first celebrity, one of the first celebrities or artists that when they died, I was really upset was Maurice Gibb. He was my favorite Bee Gee, and when he died first, after Andy. Andy died first. Andy died when he was very young. Long time ago. And then Maurice was the first of the actual Bee Gees to die. And I was upset by that because like I know he did a lot of the production stuff. He was very talented. Barry was the face, Robin was the powerhouse, but Maurice was like the guy that did so much of the actual music. Yeah, I was fucking sad when he died. And I wasn't that old. Like I was probably, I don't even know if I was 20 yet. But yeah, a lot of people I've liked that. Bill Paxton. When Bill Paxton died, that shut the door on so much great shit that he did.
Yeah, he just went in for a simple little ablation or something on his heart.
Yeah,
simple operation.
He just started. He did one season of Training Day, and he died after that. And it's like he's one of those guys. He's got something that no other actor can ever claim they have. He's been killed by a Terminator, a Predator, and a Xenomorph. No one else can say that. Some people might be able to say 2, but no one can say 3. And if they ever fucking do that and have someone else, they cast them and they get killed by all 3, I'll find them and fucking kill them myself. And then they'll have been killed by me too. Sorry, that got kind of dark, but fuck. Show some respect. Did I ever tell you the fanfic I wanted to write about Hudson from Aliens?
No.
So do you know Aliens well?
Yes.
So Hudson gets pulled through the floor, right? When they're getting attacked by the aliens, but you don't actually see him get killed. You just see the floor drop out, fucking Xenomorphs down there, and it pulls him through, the hand on the face.
And when he finally fucking balls up and becomes a man.
Well, somebody pointed out something to me once that I thought was really interesting. Because a lot of people talk about how Hudson was like fucking falling apart most of the movie. He was a soldier, he was a Marine, but he was the tech guy in the group. Like, they get up to the door, he goes up, he opens the door. He's got the motion tracker. He talked a lot of shit because he needed to build himself up because he was surrounded by, like, the ass kickers. He was the fucking tech guy, the tech Marine with the ass kickers. So he had to have the big personality. He had to have the big fucking talk to look tough, to stand next to all these fucking warriors. And then when the shit hit the fan, kind of fell apart. But when it came time to get down and whoop ass, he fucking went into beast mode, right? And a lot of people call that like one of those great character turnarounds where when it really mattered, even when he saved Newt from the fucking facehugger, there was a kid in danger, he got right in there, fucking boot to the thing, blah, blah, shot the shit out of it. So whenever the chips were down, he was there. He never ran away, he was just fucking scared to go. But the fanfic I wanted to write takes place right after he gets pulled through the floor, right? Everyone's leaving the room, and he ends up with this injured Xenomorph because he was shooting down when it was pulling him. So the whole thing is about what happens to Hudson after. They all leave, he gets pulled down, maybe a little bit acid burned, and this alien runs off. And then he's stuck like on a lower level trying to escape and runs into, and get this, a predator. Fucking predator that's on the planet that was sent to investigate, same way the humans were sent to investigate because there was a queen alien on the planet. Now, if you've ever watched AVP,
yeah,
the predators use the queen aliens to train their teenagers, their adolescents.
Right.
So Hudson ends up running into this tech predator, just like him. It's there to observe and to see what's going on. And this predator observes him fighting the xenomorphs and surviving and being left behind. And the Predator 2 has lost its team. Its team got killed by the fucking aliens because they kept coming into the facility. So Hudson and this Predator have to like get past their language barriers, find a way to communicate, and get back to the Predator's ship to get the fuck off the planet before it blows up. So I just started dreaming up this idea, and I was like, fuck it. I started writing it, and I never finished it. But I just thought, doing that character justice, like, what if he hadn't died?
Mm.
Like, if there's one character from sci-fi that I would want to live and have some fucked up adventure, it would be like Hudson. And then he ends up with an alien species that is a warrior class, and he's, got a nut up or shut up. But yeah, and then when, and it was kind of like in honor of Bill Paxton because that's one of my favorite characters he's played. And fuck, he was in Twister too. It's Bill Paxton night.
Yeah, Bill Paxton. And he was fucking on the Titanic. Well, he wasn't on the Titanic. He was fucking above it.
He was above the Titanic.
Yeah.
Are you seeing what's in the fridge?
Yeah. What's in the fridge?
Well, we can do the same beer as last week, or we can have something sweet because I brought that Summersby. I brought that Summersby last week. Or do you want the MGD? Oh yeah, we're going with man beer. Man beer. But he has been in not all, but most of James Cameron's movies. He was in Terminator. He was in True Lies. Pardon-moi. Titanic. He wasn't in Terminator 2. Even, what's his name? Lance
Armstrong?
No, Richardson. The guy who played Bishop.
Oh.
He was in Terminator.
Yeah.
He was in the first one. And the chick that played Vasquez was in the second one. She was John McClane's stepmom. So he uses a lot of the same actors. Michael Biehn was in The Abyss. And in Terminator. Beer. And movies. Yeah.
What else was he in? Twister.
Fucking Frailty. Did you ever see Frailty?
Wyatt Earp.
Oh, yeah, he was Wyatt Earp in Wyatt Earp. No,
Yep.
he wasn't.
No, he wasn't Wyatt Earp. He was one of the brothers.
He was one of the brothers in Wyatt Earp.
Yeah.
Which do you prefer?
They're both good.
They're both great movies. They cover
the one
a lot.
with Kevin Costner, the one with
Kurt Russell.
They're
Kurt
both
Russell. Yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes I
good.
mix
Both
them up.
different, but they're both good.
Yeah. Was Doc Holliday in Wyatt Earp?
Yes.
Who played Doc Holliday in Wyatt Earp again?
It was Val Kilmer.
No, Val Kilmer was in Tombstone. Val Kilmer played Doc Holliday in Tombstone. But did somebody play Doc Holliday in Wyatt Earp? The Kevin Costner one. Or was that a different time?
No. No. It's a good question.
Michael Biehn was in that too. I'll be a Huckabee.
That's a good question. I don't know.
You know what my favorite scene in Tombstone is?
Which one?
You gonna do something, or are you just gonna stand there and bleed? That scene with Billy Bob Thornton. That's like the most badass scene of just some guy talking a lot of shit, thinking he's tough, and a fucking real man comes up to him and just slaps him like a bitch. It's like, are you gonna do something, asshole? Good old Billy Bob.
We're gonna have to.
Are we researching?
Yeah, Wyatt Earp, Kevin Costner, Dennis Quaid, Gene Hackman. Oh, Dennis Quaid was Doc Holliday.
Ah, DQ.
I don't really remember. I'd have to.
I've seen Tombstone more times than I've seen Wyatt Earp.
I like them both though.
They're both good movies. It's and there's so many times a movie comes out and another movie comes out that's very similar, and that's one of those ones. Like people have the argument: what's better, Wyatt Earp or Tombstone, Armageddon or Deep Impact?
Tom Sizemore was in that.
Tom Sizemore.
Yeah.
And Wyatt Earp.
Yeah.
Huh.
And Michael Madsen.
Like
Pullman.
This sounds like a Tarantino cast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Michael Madison, Mr. Blonde, Mr. White, Mr. Brown, Mr. Blonde, and Mr. Pink.
Sam Elliott was in fucking the other one, Tombstone.
Yeah, was he one of the brothers?
Yeah.
It was Sam Elliott, Bill Paxton, Kurt Russell, and who was the fourth brother? Shit. Michael Bean was Ringo or whatever his name was.
And Jason Priestley was in that.
Huh. Well, good old westerns.
Billy Zane.
Billy Zane. You should listen to your friend Billy Zane. He's a cool guy. Did you know Billy Zane was in Back to the Future?
Was he?
He was one of Biff's thugs.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Biff had his group of 3 guys. Billy Zane was one of them.
Wow.
And the guy from
And he was in Titanic.
Billy's. Oh yeah, I mean anyone who didn't know who the hell Billy Zane was, Titanic put him on the fucking map. I had a girl once when Titanic came out when I was in high school, and her and I were just casually chatting, and she just looked at me and said, "You unimaginable bastard," and I'm like, "Where the fuck did that come from?" She's like, "Sorry, I've always wanted to say that to a guy." I'm like, "Why?" She's like, "Oh, it's something that was said to this asshole in Titanic." I'm like, "Well, I'm not a fucking asshole, and I've never seen Titanic." Well, one of those things is true.
Billy Zane was in Zoolander, too.
Yeah. That's why I said that line. You should listen to your friend Billy Zane. He's a cool guy.
I just remember when our internet was burnt out and everything?
Yeah.
So we had pulled out fucking an Xbox and all our DVDs and shit. And one of the movies was Zoolander. We watched that.
God.
Watched that and Night at the Roxbury.
Oh, that's a
and Shaun
classic.
of the Dead.
You ever see Dead Calm?
Mm-mm.
Oh, Jesus. I watched that one when I was way too young to be watching a movie with that kind of content in it. But I had no idea what the fuck I was getting into. But Billy Zane was in that. He played a real scumbag. But that had, oh shit, what's his name? The guy who played Alan Grant in Jurassic Park.
Sam Elliott. No.
It's not Sam Elliott. It's Sam something.
No.
Miller.
No,
But,
not Sam Miller.
No, not. Just quoting the Miller. Shit, I can't think of his name right now. He'll always be Alan Grant to me. But it's a movie about a guy and his wife, and they're sailing on this boat, and they come across another boat that's sinking, and there's a guy waving frantically to get rescued, and they bring him on board, and it's Billy Zane, and they start they're trying to take care of this guy, and they're asking if there's any other survivors on the other boat that's sinking, and he's like, no, everyone's dead. There's no one alive over there. And Alan Grant, Sam, he's like, oh, I'm gonna go check, and he goes across to check this other boat, and fucking Billy Zane steals his boat with his wife on board and takes off and leaves him behind. And he starts exploring this boat that's sinking. It's like a big boat, and gets the story of what was happening on the boat before everyone died. And yeah, you can imagine Billy Zane is kind of a piece of shit.
I think I did fucking see that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the gist of that one. But yeah,
crazy one.
I think we had a VHS tape that had 2 movies on it. And the first movie on it was one that was pretty much okay for me to watch. And then Dead Calm was the second movie on this tape. And one day I'd finished watching the first movie and I started doing something, the next one started, and I was like, oh, I think I'll watch this for a bit. And then I was like, oh, I shouldn't have watched that. But thanks, Billy Zane. Bastard.
Billy Zane.
Oh, what's he done recently? Oh, he did, what was that show? Oh, no, it wasn't Billy. No, it was Billy Zane. Was it?
I don't know.
There was this show. What was it called? Mad Dogs?
And
it's this show about a guy who I don't remember all the details, but he goes to another. He like invites all his friends to his house, and he's in another country. I can't remember which country it is, but he's done really well for himself. He's got this amazing house, and he wants all his like childhood friends to come and stay at his house with him. And he's living fucking large. He's got the huge pool and all these incredible amenities and everything. And while they're having this party, some guy shows up that Billy Zane works with and fucking executes him, kills him in front of all his friends. And none of them know what the fuck is going on. They have no idea what he was involved in. They have no idea who this guy is who just killed their friend. And they get caught up in this fucking mess of trying to survive while in this country and completely cut off and no way to kind of escape.
Mm.
But it was, I think it was a 6-episode, like a short. And I think it was Billy Zane. If it wasn't Billy Zane, it was a guy that looked like him.
Mm. Sam Neill.
Sam
Neill.
That's right. Mad Dogs.
Mad Dogs.
I think it was called Mad Dogs. Yeah. 2015 to 2016. But was it Billy Zane? That is the $17 million question. Oh, maybe not. Maybe it was Ben Chaplin.
Christopher DeSorio.
Steve Zah was in it. Why did I think it was Billy Zane? It's Ben Chaplin. Oh well. Sorry, Billy. I guess you're not the mad dog we thought you were. Loser.
Well. Any fishbowl questions?
I don't have
any.
I don't have any fishbowl questions. But...
Email's been quiet.
Oh, actually, you know what? I haven't checked my main email in the last little bit. Let me see if I got any fresh ones. Call me Mr. Vane. Social. What?
Netflix Stephen King blockbuster is an epic adventure.
Oh, here, somebody sent us a question. Oh, actually, it's more of a story.
What?
Dear Dan and Doug from the Double D podcast, there's something I'd like to tell you about. Since you guys love to share fucked up stories, and you haven't done fucked up online in a while, I thought I'd share this story with you. Not so long ago, my fiance and I were sitting down on the couch watching a movie when we heard a knock at the door. I went to answer it, and there was a man standing there who had recently received an injury to his face and was asking us for help. He had a bandage over one eye, and he said his name was Joe. I brought him into the house, let him use my phone, and I went to go get him a fresh bandage. When I came back, he was gone, and so was my fiance. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, if it hadn't been for Cotton Eye Joe, I'd been married a long time ago.
Fuck off.
Man, fuck you.
Somebody said that to us.
No, I just made that up.
Oh, fuck.
I felt sad no one emailed us, and I always thought, that'd be a fun bit. It's like, if I can make Doug laugh, it's all worth it.
Fucked up.
Fucked up online. Oh, man. Oh, what was it? I was watching something earlier today, and I thought, that's like fucked up online material right there.
Well, I sent you something fucked up online. What was that?
There was a couple. There was one on the Whatever podcast I was watching, and it was a guy talking to this girl, and she was talking about how she wants a traditional guy in her relationship, but she wants to act like a dog. And it's like, wait, so you want to be respected as an equal and have a man have traditional values, but you are going to act like a dog? And she's like, yeah, I want him to respect me. Woof. She's like, would finish her sentences with woof. These are the people out there.
Woof.
These are the people. Did you see that other one I sent you? And I said, watch till the end?
Yeah, I seen that before, whatever, making its rounds.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've seen a lot of videos just like it, but I mean, I've seen plenty of videos where a guy's, mouthing off, and then somebody takes a swing at him or gives him a crack. That guy looked like he was dead.
He was lying
He
over, his
got
eyes were open.
Cracked so hard in the jaw. I mean, again, he deserved it. He was being a piece of shit. But he hit the ground and he was out, like out cold. And it looked like one of the guys went up and like stomped on his hand after, because in the next shot you see someone pan over and it looked like his hand was all bloody.
Yeah, I don't know. People were going over to help him. They're like, everybody's a racist.
I probably. I mean, and the thing is, he wasn't just a racist. He was enjoying being an asshole. And
I didn't really like catch exactly what he was saying. Like, I don't know, maybe I had the sound down or something, but I couldn't really.
It sounded like he kept saying over and over again is it's popular now.
Yeah, that's one thing he kept saying.
He was talking about like the black people on the train. It's like, oh, it's popular now, huh? Why don't you go back to where you came from? You like to come here because it's popular now.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
All I caught was something about being popular or something.
Yeah, and it was hard to understand all of it, and like it started partway into the incident, and then just the three guys were getting ready to leave the train, and one guy just turned around and boom! Damn.
Here's our episode of Fucked Up Online, because we haven't done Fucked Up Online for a while.
That was a great segment.
It's a Gen Z human resource managers having a healthy debate about what is acceptable corporate behavior in the year 2040.
Oh, shit.
For instance, if there's a red tube video of my girlfriend slapping me and choking me and riding me, that shouldn't be an indication I'm going to lack leadership in a work situation.
Yeah, but Duncan, it's going to be hard to convince an employer who's masturbating to that video otherwise.
Exactly. My potential employer might see all those videos of my husband tying me up and having his way with me, and then they're going to think that I'm not going to be assertive enough for the job.
I mean, these days, everyone has an Xtube account. It's your own fault if you lose out on a job because you've got tons of videos on the web where you're slowly inserting various household objects into your anus.
Yeah, but what if you're shoving those things in your anus on your own time?
But let's be smart about it. You know, if you know an employer might see this, post a video of yourself getting double teamed by two brawny Latinos to show your support of diversity in the workplace.
Oh, and multitasking.
But I still want to have the right to badmouth my employer while shooting a POV hand job without fear of affecting my future prospects for work.
If you don't want to jeopardize the content of your porn, you can always shoot from the eyes down.
Oh, but that's not the same if you cover the eyes. That's where the innocence is.
Yeah, but guys, don't these amateur sites also have privacy settings that you can set so the future employers don't have access to these questionable videos?
Right. But that doesn't protect you from appearing in other people's videos. Now, I found on YouPorn a video of me participating in some piss play at a party a few years ago.
Oh, I hate that.
Well, no, it was a really good time for everybody. But the thing is, we didn't know who uploaded it to the web. So am I supposed to leave an orgy just because someone shows up with a camera?
No one's saying you should leave an orgy.
Oh, right. So
it's more
complicated. So now, if I go to a party, I wear something like this. For instance, if there's a red tube video of my girlfriend slapping me and choking me.
Good Lord. Gen Z human resource managers having a healthy debate about what is acceptable in corporate behavior in the year 2040.
Oh, people are so sensitive.
Fucked Up Online.
Like, I was working on this student film today, and there's a just completely out of context. There's a scene where my hand is supposed to like become like a gun. I'm on this like trip. I'm going on a vision quest in my mind, and it's all subliminal messaging. But there's a big light, like that they use for film sets and modeling and all that shit. And basically, it's like a defeating the boogeyman moment, where this gun forms, and it's like I either need to kill that evil or I need to kill myself. And it's like I'm fighting this urge. And I'm like, and I'm supposed to shoot this thing. We haven't done that yet. We're doing it tomorrow. And I brought the gun, the gun, the Hunter Through the Hills of Moonstone gun.
Ah.
Because it looks decently
the one
real.
Like waving at fucking people.
By accident, yes. So I didn't tell them I brought it. I just had it just in case. And they were talking about that scene, and I said, "Oh, do you want an actual prop gun for that scene?" So it could be like I'm pointing my fingers, and it'll like flash into my hand a couple times, and it's just like, it adds like a cool element to it. And they're like, "Oh no, we can't do that. We're not allowed to show guns. We can't have guns. There's certain language we can't do. We can't have any triggering imagery."
This is like a high school project?
No, this is a college
This is a college project.
College
and they can't
level
have
project.
guns.
Yeah. And
Because
I was like,
it's not part of the film world. It's not part of.
well, because it might be triggering for some people. And I was
Okay,
like, oh,
then just don't watch anything.
like they needed to give a list of all the content and all the things that were going to be in their project and submit it so that if anything that was deemed triggering or offensive could be.
Okay, but you go and pretending your fucking hands and you're going to be pointing at your head isn't that could be triggering.
Yeah.
Okay, it's ridiculous. But anyways,
it is, and it's just like fuck. Like okay, this is what we're doing. All right. I don't know. I feel like you keep fucking saran wrapping these people with foam to insulate them. I'm sorry, the real world just chews you the fuck up. People out there don't give a fuck. They don't. You're not preparing people for the world. You're preparing them for the fucking tutorial that once it ends, you're fucked. Bullshit.
If you don't learn how to deal with rejection and failure when you're a kid, when you get to the real world and that happens, because that will fucking happen. I don't give a fuck who you are.
It's everywhere.
It's going to happen. You'll fail in things and you'll be rejected in things. If you don't know how to deal with it, if you didn't learn when you were a kid and they didn't guide you through it because they protected you from all that shit, because we didn't keep score in the hockey game or yada, yada, yada. We didn't hand out Valentine's cards because you may not have got one, whatever. How do you, when you become an adult, who's there to fucking teach you now when that happens?
You know something, this might be a little fucked up to say, but it made me really happy. I was working with a group of teenagers and playing volleyball. And in a lot of classes I've worked in, whenever a sport's played, they try to mix the teams up so that the really strong players get divided between the teams.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And what the kids wanted to do, and they seemed to like it, is they wanted to do boys versus girls. And volleyball is one of those sports where you could get a good game going between boys and girls of different levels of skill. Because there are a lot of girls, they play on the team and they're good. And there's a lot of boys that play on the team and they're good. But the boys always win. The boys always beat the girls. And in the 3 or 4...
In volleyball.
Yeah, in the 3 or 4 gym periods I saw, the boys were beating the girls every time. Now, the girls had the players that were good, and they had the players that try hard, but they don't have the technical skill. And then they got the ones that just stand there, and they don't even see the ball coming. The boys had the same thing. We have a bunch of boys on the team that they just like stand there, and they avoid the ball when it comes at them. So that's pretty much even on both sides. The thing I noticed was that the boys got crazy because they love sports. They got crazy about...
They're more competitive?
They were pumping each other up. They were chanting. They were getting into it. I saw none of that on the other side. Now, I'm not trying to sound sexist here.
Yeah, it's just what it was.
There's just a very clear difference in how, at that age, boys and girls are playing sports. Now, if you had a full team of the... Like, if you had the girls' volleyball team take on those boys, the boys would probably get their butt kicked. Because they've still got their weak spots. They've got their 3 or 4 good players, and then they've got 4 other players out there that aren't so great. But when you just take the straight mix, and it wasn't just the physical part, it was the mental part too. Like there was this crazy camaraderie of like them wanting to succeed together. Whereas when I look over at the girls team, they're all just talking shit about each other.
So the boys had this big competitive urge, and the girls were just kind of happy to be there playing a game together and whatever, going through the motion of it.
You go into a sports bar, and a lot of there's a lot of talk about how female athletes should be paid as much as male athletes, and if you ever look at the actual numbers, it's like I'm sorry, no, they shouldn't. Their sport does not bring in as much money.
That's really what it's about, right?
It is. If you've got the men's basketball team, the NBA team, NBA game, you're going to have
Through advertisement and everything else.
It's just insane amounts of men and women are watching that.
Yeah.
When the women have their game, there's hardly anybody watching. And if the women were as deep into supporting the sport by actually watching it, they would have the revenue. But they're not. They stand on the side and they bitch about it, but they don't actually support it with their time. Time is what really elevates a sport and elevates the audience. You go to any sports bar, there's a bunch of drunk fucking dudes eating wings, watching the game, playing fantasy football. They're supporting the sport. They're living it.
Yeah, it's not just that. It's like they could maybe put asses in the seats at the games, the women's hockey games or this, that, and everything else. But they don't have, I mean, the reach of, let's say, the NHL to the women's pro league that just started and all that. And they're like, oh, look, the arenas are sold out. Yeah, sell them out for years and years on end. Build up a following where you can get TV deals where somebody's going to pay money to be able to broadcast your thing on their TV because lots of people are going to watch the game so they can sell advertisement to make money, right? And then there's all the jerseys and the shirts and the hats and everything else. It's a huge there, so it's got to be proportionate to the money the product's bringing in.
Yeah, and really, if you look at the players, they're getting paid. Even the male players, if you look at the amount of money that's being made versus the amount of money they're making, they're getting paid shit. It's a huge industry. These sports, they generate astronomical amounts of money where they can throw $22 million at some kid because he's got a name and he's gonna draw people in. That's
sell shirts and tickets and hats and
get the endorsements and get a new generation of people interested. It's just economics. It is, really. And I mean, I wish I could say that the support for the women's hockey team and the WNBA, I wish I could say the support was there, but it has to come from somewhere, and the majority of fans of male sports are males. If women supported the female sports as much as men support the male sports, you'd have a huge market there. If you weren't all busy watching the fucking Kardashians and buying shitty purses and garbage, if you were buying the sports memorabilia of the female the female athletes that you say you support, they would be getting paid more. And there would be more going on. But no, that's not what happens. The people that are idolized and that they're throwing all their money at are these fucking socialite ticks that just suck the life out of everything. Your money goes to what you put it towards. Men put their money towards the sports and the things that they're passionate about. Women put it towards these fucking influencers and these parasites, and they're the ones that have all the money. Shouldn't a fucking singer who does as much work as Taylor Swift get as much money as Taylor Swift? No, she's the highest fucking paid singer in the world. She's killing it, and good for her. Good for her. I'm fucking happy.
I actually saw a little fucking thing about that. Somebody said, "Oh yeah, okay, you want stuff to be." Maybe it was even you.
Probably
stuff to be equal. Taylor Swift's making fucking whatever billions and millions of dollars. Well, let's make sure that fucking guy down the road in the little fucking dead end bar.
That was my stupid TikTok with the Taylor Swift.
That's what
thing
that
on my face.
But it's true though, right?
It is true. And I mean,
he's playing music too.
If
how come he's only getting $30 and all the beer he can drink? So he has to pay back at the end of the night.
So you got 10 male sports figures and you got 10 female sports figures, and what we're saying is they should be paid equal. Fine, okay. You got 10 female OnlyFans models or porn performers, whatever they're called themselves, and 10 male guys. Shouldn't they be paid equally? They're both showing their fun bits.
Yeah.
Oh, no, but wait. The market for females showing their fun bits is so much higher than men showing their fun bits.
There you go.
So that's why the women have more subscribers. That makes sense. Shouldn't Chippendales make as much as strippers? But they don't. Or do they? I
have
don't know.
no
I haven't
idea,
seen a
man.
lot of- I don't have the stats for that. Hold on. Let me message Chris. He probably knows. Oh, shit.
Oh.
Yeah, and again, not trying to offend anybody, but if the truth offends you, then, well, sorry. You're the fucking problem. Pretty sure we said in episode 1, you will be offended at some point.
Yeah, I'm just going to put this out there right now because I pretty much was involved in hockey since I was 4 until I kind of retired just before COVID.
Yeah.
At the top end, the highest level of hockey, the girls don't compete to the skill level and the speed and the excitement of that game. I'm sorry, you just don't. They don't.
And it's like they could maybe match the technical, but the level that these games are aggressive. These are aggressive sports. A lot of them. Basketball is incredibly aggressive. There's technically not as much contact as a fucking hockey game, but you watch a basketball game. I watch kids play basketball. It's a fucking aggressive sport. Like, you're getting up in people's faces, you're moving, you're trying to block, you're trying not to make contact, but you are getting in each other's fucking space. You are playing it aggressively. And when boys play with girls, the girls are getting knocked on the fucking ground all the time unless the boys are playing carefully, soft play, because they don't want to hurt anybody. When they play against each other, they bash the shit out of each other. But aggression is such a huge factor. You ever watch any amateur fighting? Like go to a place and watch an amateur fight?
Not live, no.
So I went, a friend of, I think I told you about this, but Nat was going to see the fight and I had to stay home. I didn't get to see the fight. So a friend of Nat's, her brother, does Muay Thai, right? So the first time I saw like a live amateur fight, I went to see him in a Muay Thai fight. And as I'm watching this, it's all amateurs. They've been training for a long time. Maybe they've done a couple of fights, but they're still wearing the headgear, and they're not trying to rip each other's heads off. And I think they did maybe 2 or 3 rounds. But as I'm watching this, anytime you saw somebody with a lot of technique against somebody who was just really fucking aggressive, the aggressive person won every time. At that level, they come out and they're just going. They're throwing everything because it's only 3 rounds. You can go crazy for 3 rounds. And they would just overwhelm the other person. And then the technique only matters if you can figure out how to deal with the aggression first. Boys are so fucking aggressive. Every minute of every day, you're trying to stop the aggression from taking over. Like Jekyll and Hyde, the Hulk. There's reasons why these characters exist. Because that is the internal struggle of every man. And in a sport, that's when you can let all that shit out. And men have it for fucking miles. That is not the same case.
That's funny because playing hockey, some of the nicest fucking guys off the ice, wouldn't fucking fart in front of you, nothing. As soon as they put skates on, fucking become
animals.
Animals.
Like crazed fucking animals.
So fucking chew your throat out.
Yeah. Hyper competitive.
Spit it in your mouth.
They've been holding it back that whole time.
And as soon as they come off the ice, super nice again.
Yeah. And I can't remember if it was Jordan Peterson or if it was Joe Rogan or if it was Joe Rogan quoting Jordan Peterson, but there was somebody who said, if you're a man, you should be a beast. You should be an absolute fucking beast and learn how to control it.
Mm-hmm.
And get it basically to a point.
It was, Peterson said it originally.
Yeah, you should be a monster. Be an absolute fucking monster. Learn how to control that monster so that it never controls you.
Yeah.
And then when you need it, it's there.
Yeah.
And sometimes in a fight you need it. Because, I mean, I tell you, anytime, I've got all the videos that I recorded. And every now and then, there were 3 girl fights in this Muay Thai thing. And there was this one girl, she was small, right? And I watched her walk into the ring, and I'm like, damn, she's tiny. And the other girl was a lot taller than her. I was like, this will be interesting. She had fucking madness in her eyes. She was just, and she was coming, and she was ducking under the reach, and just, she was hammering twice as many shots as the other girl. And she ended up winning. Just on sheer, like, insanity took her over. And I didn't see that in any of the other girls that were fighting that night. So it does exist. I mean, I've seen women that have it. I've dated an alcoholic, so I know. But yeah, there's biological differences, and I'm sorry, that's the buzzword that makes everyone so upset. Biological. I'm sorry, there's fucking biological differences. Get over it.
Get over it.
Stop driving us backwards. We could have been in fucking space by now. Thanks, religion. Thanks, fucking anti-biological belief. Fucking, we're living in a world that's flat biodome bullshit.
Careful, you could get fired for that.
Can I?
You could get fired for that.
For saying that the Earth's not flat?
Listen, nobody is gonna fire us from the Double D podcast.
Definitely.
Fucking nobody.
No, but you could get fired from your job.
Which part?
Saying there's...
Come over here and say that. Then you're just a ghost in the log home.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you, the crazy hasn't gotten quite to where I am yet with that part of it. There's no litter boxes in my school.
No, but there are litter boxes out there.
They can stay where they are.
Mm-hmm.
So did you eat the rest of those the meat from your bag?
Oh my god! So the day after, I was, my insides rotted out of my body when we combined the beer and the two different meat sticks, and I it was very unpleasant. I remember I saw you driving, and the first thing I see, I roll down the window. How your guts doing today?
No, that night didn't feel very good.
No, and I ate the rest of the elk. I took a break from it for a bit, and then I thought I can just eat the elk because I think the boar was what was making me sick.
Ladybug on your head.
Yeah, I know. I just felt that. I was like, what the fuck was that? They're coming back.
They've been here all year. Fuck.
Yeah, I went for the elk ones, and they were good, but still, all week it's been a...
Really, eh?
Yeah, my body does not do well with those. And the sad thing is, I fucking love them. And I'd just be eating like one a day, and still, I just had a constant...
Shit.
So, yeah. Something to, sadly, something to avoid in the future. Unless, I'm not going anywhere for 3 days. Because I'm going to get fired, apparently. And then I'm going to have to come work for Denise. Or, Doug and I will start a business or something.
Pirates of Blackwater. Or something like that. Was it Stargate of...
Star Palace of Gate Lord. Stargate? Stargate.
And don't talk about oil and gas, because you be closer.
Or diesel.
$1 million.
Diesel.
$1 million.
NDP guy put in a private member's bill that if you support oil and gas or advertise that it's good or whatever, that you could be thrown in jail for up to 10 years and fined $1 million.
$1 million.
Charlie Angus.
There was a kid in a school that got kicked out of school for saying that there were biological differences between boys and girls.
Yes.
Oh, a guy at West.
Josh Alexander.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Catholic school at that, I think it was.
This is why I'm moving to fucking New Brunswick. There are no Catholic schools in New Brunswick.
But you think a Catholic school that's very religion-based would... Especially Catholics.
No, because they're pushing now, they're okay with same-sex marriages and the Catholic religion and
whatever, same-sex
I
marriages.
don't have any problem with same-sex marriages. Everybody has the right to be as miserable as the rest of us and get married. That I don't have a problem with. I have a problem with people who want to act like dogs and shit in a box in the fucking classroom. That I'm not quite on board with.
Will you ever be on board with that?
If the world fails and there's no more indoor plumbing and the zombies are outside, then yes, I will be okay with shitting in a box. That's where the term came from, shit box. Back in World War I, everyone had to shit in a box. And then somebody had to go and they had to toss the shit box over the side. Yeah,
great.
Something. Hey, learning.
Information we didn't need to know.
Absolutely not.
A new segment.
Yeah, useless information. Welcome to the shitbox.
Well, anything else?
I don't think so. Denise, you got anything for us? Any quandaries? Any paradox conversation?
Well, you can answer the question, what are simple pleasures in life that make you happy?
Simple pleasures in life that make me happy?
Beer.
Beer is a simple pleasure. Doesn't take a lot. Peace. Peace is a simple pleasure. I like being with... I like to be in a room with people where no one is bothering anyone else.
Dan would like just people talking about him and the things he's done because he's Mr. May.
No, actually, that actually makes me kind of uncomfortable, if I'm being completely honest. And I don't know if it's from childhood, but I always got very uncomfortable when getting compliments. Like I did a play in grade 11, and after it was done, a lot of people would come up to me that I'd never spoken to before, and they were like, "Oh, that was so great, man! That was so good. You were the best part of it. It was so fucking boring, and your part was really funny." And that was the first time I realized, like, oh wow, shit. When people are kind of coming up to me, complimenting me on stuff, I never know what to say. I never quite feel comfortable looking them in the face while I'm talking to them. I find my eyes are wandering around. I get momentarily like, I don't know. I don't know if that's from upbringing, because whenever my parents complimented me, my brothers suddenly had to jump in and be like, "Oh, well, I fucking did this, and I know how to do that." And it's like, I always felt uncomfortable getting a compliment. So yeah, like I said, the vanity thing, that's all just covering up the emotional damage. It's just a good performance from a talented actor who is also very humble.
Alrighty.
Yeah. But, yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, what are your simple pleasures?
Well, on my Storyworth, I just did that. So in a year from now, you'll get to read mine.
No, but they need to know.
Our 12th... Oh, we just lost another one. Our 11 people... Oh, shit, we just lost another one. Our 10 people want to know.
They don't care. That's why they're walking away.
They're just... they're unfollowing because of the... They like shitting in boxes.
Oh, no. That's our following.
Oh, man.
The cat people.
Oh, what's a good paradox conversation? Or, I don't know, conversation. Morality question. I was thinking one of these up the other day. Morality questions. Top 28 moral dilemmas. The unfaithful friend. Oh, I saw this one. It was what was it? It was the question of, you're standing on the top of a building next to your best friend, and you've both decided to kill yourselves. You're both going to commit suicide together. And you're holding hands, and your friend jumps, but you don't. And as your friend's falling, they pull a parachute. Who betrayed who?
The fucking guy that pulled the parachute betrayed.
But the other friend wasn't going to jump.
So what? The guy with the parachute convinced... I had the parachute, I convinced you to fucking jump and we're going to die together. Even though I had no fucking plans of fucking dying. You decide not to fucking jump.
But I still...
But in your mind, I still want to die, and I jump. But then I pull the chute, and you realize, you fucker, you were going to live all along, and I was the only one going to die.
So the jumper is the traitor.
The guy with the parachute is a fucking skank.
Right, bastard.
I'd fucking find a fucking brick and throw it at his fucking parachute. Because all along he was going to live.
Oh, shit. Well, you know what? That's a good argument. I like that. Oh, I don't like the way these things are set up.
Motherfucker.
And there's all the. Have you ever done the trolley questions?
No, what's that?
So the I think it's not 100% sure how it goes, but the trolley question is basically there's a trolley out of control, and it's on its way to hit 5 people, or you can pull a lever and it'll just hit one person. Do you pull that lever?
Why wouldn't you?
Because then you are actively killing the other person. You're saving those 5 people, but you're killing somebody. Yes, the other 5 people.
So you're either gonna run over 5 people or pull a lever and run over one different person.
Yes, but you're now actively doing something that leads to that person dying. It's like if you did nothing, yes, people could say you're an asshole, you didn't do anything, but you also didn't partake in killing somebody.
Pull the lever. Well, it depends. Who are the 5 people?
Well, as the morality question goes on, sometimes there's layers to it. If you ever watched The Good Place, you ever watch that show?
No.
Oh, that's worth checking out. It's all about morality, and they do this whole bit with the trolley questions, but they actually like show the trolley, like they're able to actually like create the situation. And there's this guy who's got like the anxiety, and every time the trolley hits people, the blood just sprays all over him.
Perfect.
And he gets more and more on edge because he keeps getting sprayed with blood.
I think I pulled the lever.
All right.
Save 5 people.
Now here's the other question: if there was a fat person standing there, and if you pushed the fat person into the trolley, it would knock it off the track, saving the 5 people.
Yeah,
would you?
The fat person
You push the fat person?
Yeah.
What if it was Lizzo? Would you double drop kick her into it?
I don't know who Lizzo is, but okay.
You don't know who Lizzo is? Oh man, Lizzo is this.
No,
singer.
I wouldn't push anybody in front of a fucking train to stop it from running over
hitting 5 people.
That's
So you would pull the lever to kill somebody.
I'd pull the lever to stop the train. It veered off and hit somebody. That's kind of like.
Well, that's the thing. It's coming down the track. It's going to hit 5 people. Or you can pull a lever and it'll go to another track where it'll only hit 1 person. But you will have done that. You will have contributed to it. That's the first question. And you said you would pull the lever because you'd be saving 5 people even though you would actively be murdering one.
Yeah.
Now, if it was a matter of pushing a person in front of the trolley so that it would go off the rails and save the 5 people, do you think you could do that?
No, I wouldn't do that.
All right. So then I think the next step in the question is, if there were 5 people on the track and the one person was someone you knew,
well,
would you still pull the lever? Would you save your friend or kill 5 strangers?
Like this person?
It's Joe. Let's say it's Joe.
Yeah, pull the lever.
Kill Joe? We just lost another viewer. Shit, we're down to 9.
Kidding, Joe.
What if it was Chris?
Pull the lever.
You jump on the trolley, make it go faster.
I'll push him.
Somehow push him on the track. Push him on top of the 5 people. There you go. And I don't know if
that's why I live alone in the woods.
Well, it's okay. No one likes me either. I don't know if there's any more. Have you ever heard the trolley?
I've heard the trolley. I saw that recently.
Yeah.
That question.
It's
somewhere.
They covered it on The Good Place really, really well. And then there was the...
but you don't know those 5 people. They could be all monsters.
They could be.
And the fat person or that one person could be a beautiful soul.
Or it could be Lizzo.
Whoever the fucking Lizzo is.
Lizzo is the overweight singer who everyone constantly says is brave and gorgeous because she's always wearing these skin-tight suits when she performs. But everyone now jokes that women will call Lizzo brave and beautiful and gorgeous, but if a guy ever said his wife was beautiful like Lizzo, they'd be insulted. And when women are told, they're like, oh, you look just like Lizzo, you're gorgeous. Women get mad. They're like, what the fuck is that supposed to mean? And it's like, well, I'm sorry, that's called hypocrisy. That's what that is.
That's a good one.
You know, it's like if everyone went around talking about how George Costanza was a handsome, wonderful man, and then men got compared to him, they're like, "Oh, you're handsome, just like George Costanza." I'd be like, "What? What the fuck?" I wouldn't take that as a compliment. This doesn't make any goddamn sense. Although no one on Seinfeld was particularly attractive.
Jerry Seinfeld's coming to Rama.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you haven't seen Tom Segura yet, have you?
No, and here's something funny. This is really funny. So, my wife loves Tom Segura, and she loves Bert Kreischer. They're like, she fucking loves them, especially Bert.
She listens to her podcast?
I think she listens to some of the podcasts, but even before she knew about the podcast, she loved their stand-up. So for Christmas, my wife got us tickets to go see Tom Segura, which, awesome. I'd love to go see your favorite comic as my Christmas present. I think that's really fun. So guess what she got me for my birthday?
Oh, no. What?
Tickets to go see Bert.
Where's he at in Toronto?
I don't know where the fuck he is.
He's at a big stadium.
I love that for Christmas and my birthday, I'm getting tickets to go see my wife's favorite comedians. I mean, I want to see them too. It's not like it's an empty gesture. I just think it's
totally different shows. Bert's going to be at probably the ACC, a big stadium.
Yeah. Segura's, I think, a little more.
Yeah, he won't do stadiums.
No. I'm more excited to see Tom Segura than Bert.
He's at Rama.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he is a Rama. So, yeah, that's going to be fun. I think one's in March and one's in April.
Nice. That's funny.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I haven't seen the last, I think the only stand-up comedian I ever saw was, what's his name? The Australian guy. Oh, I can't think of his name now.
Who's that guy we saw? He was, when we saw him at Rama?
Or not Mendocino?
No.
Australian comedian.
Who? He was going on about
Jim Jeffries. I've seen Jim Jeffries. I saw him in Barrie at one of the colleges. He was very funny. I love Jim Jeffries. We didn't say anything any worse than what Jim Jeffries says. I'm a comedian, damn it. I don't do this under my actual name. I'm Mr. Vane. That's my name. Mr. First name, last name, Vane. Spelt with 3 N's. Stop texting me. I'm tired.
The dude, he was going on about...
Yeah, we saw him, that bald-headed or short-hair guy.
He was going on about the musician that was going to play there.
This is a comedian you saw?
Yeah. There's a late-night talk show, too, I think, or talk show.
When I was in New York, way back in the day, went and saw a taping of the Conan O'Brien show, and they had they had Liv Tyler on there. She was doing Lord of the Rings. I saw Patton Oswalt back before Patton Oswalt was like better known, and the guy from Game of Thrones that played Robert Baratheon.
Oh yeah,
he was on there. So I saw those were the 3 guests on there, and I always like it was a cool show. But yeah, I guess Patton Oswalt was the first comedian I saw live. Technically, he did this whole bit about TiVo because TiVo was a new thing, but we don't have TiVo in Canada.
TiVo, what's that?
TiVo was like it was this thing in the States. It was basically like an Android box, or like it was something that would like. You'd pick shows that you like, or if you watched a lot of shows of a certain kind, it would see what your watching preferences were. And then it would save shows for you. So yeah, TiVo was like a very early version of all the like black box stuff that we eventually got. I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm just like, I have no fucking idea what he's talking about, but he seems to think it's really funny, and the crowd's all laughing. All us Canadians are like, duh. But
Craig Ferguson.
The name's familiar. What's his?
We've seen him, but there was another guy.
Oh yeah, I like him.
I was in fucking tears.
He's funny.
I was in tears when he was going on.
He does a lot of funny shit. He has the the talk show that he does.
Yeah, he does it.
He's very edgy.
It was fucking. It was funny as shit. I was in tears.
There's one that's like Mendocino or something like that.
Sebastian Maniscalco?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Italian guy.
Yeah.
He's always talking about his crazy Italian upbringing. Yeah, my wife loves him too. He's funny. He does this whole bit you would really appreciate about a raccoon going into eating their vegetables when he was a kid. And he's like, "Oh, nowadays you got the people that'll call like animal control, and animal control will come and take the animal and put it back in the wild somewhere." And his dad was like, "Okay, we're gonna kill this motherfucker." It's like, "Dad, what are you gonna do?" "We're gonna put antifreeze on bologna. We're gonna leave
Jesus."
The next day, all the animals in the neighborhood are all dead. They're all dead around their garden from eating the fucking bologna with the antifreeze on it. Cats, dogs, squirrels. Yeah, he's got some good stand-up. Did you hear about the George Carlin thing?
Oh,
I haven't. I only heard about it from that. But somebody used AI. Yeah, we're done.
Somebody used AI.
Somebody used AI to
the story.
You've heard it?
No.
They used AI to create a new George Carlin stand-up. So they used an AI likeness, and they, I guess, plugged in what he would make jokes about, how he would make them, all the shit that's going on in the world right now, and uploaded this AI-generated George Carlin stand-up. And his daughter took huge issue with it.
I did hear something about it,
Yeah, and requested that it keep getting taken down. I mean, I can understand. That would be pretty fucked up. But then there's this little voice inside me that's like, I wish somebody had
I'd
consulted
seen it
her.
It went down.
I mean, to me, it's like,
well, yeah.
I don't wish I'd seen it. I wish that maybe they'd gone to her and gotten her approval, because they have done stuff like that.
It's the estate's intellectual property, or whatever, right? So,
like, there's this thing in Star Wars that they did with the general of the Death Star, the guy that blew up in the first Death Star.
Yeah.
They brought him back for Rogue One.
Yeah.
And they used his likeness. They AI generated him. They generated his voice. They did all that, and they got permission from his family.
Right.
And it was fine. I mean, they used him too much in the movie, and it didn't look the absolute greatest. I feel like it should have been more of an homage than having him be as big a character as he was. But they got the permission. They went through the proper channels. I wish whoever did this with the George Carlin thing
did that too.
Yeah, like, get the permission. Talk to the family. And if it's... I mean, the thing is, his stand-up was so edgy, and I don't know how good his relationship was with his kids, because he had a lot of addiction problems.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he was the greatest dad. I like to think he was, because I love him as a comedian, but I don't know if he was the greatest dad.
Well, all I gotta say is, if anybody out there wants to do an AI of these two fucking clowns, fucking just send it to us, please. Send it to us.
Imagine.
We approve.
AI generated.
We approve.
Dr. Sleep and Mr.
Do
Bang.
it.
You know what? The pinnacle of when you first start reaching it is when somebody wants to impersonate you.
Or do a character cartoon thing of us.
Yeah. Like, when I used to do the YouTube stuff way back in the day, whenever people would rip off my content, or they would use my image, or they would pretend to be me in chat rooms, I was like, this is the first step. This is when you know you're hitting something, because people are trying to get on your cheese.
Perfect. Get it done.
Yeah, somebody out there rip us off. Don't use our likeness, but use our likeness.
All right.
We're not that hard to impersonate.
Do it. All right, well, that wraps up another
fun episode that was somewhat planned. I mean, there's times I think we get to a certain mark where we're having fun, so we don't want to stop, but we just natter on for another 30 minutes.
And we're almost at 2 hours again.
Oh, yeah. But you know what? It was a good time.
That's where it goes.
And that's where it is. Hopefully we don't get fired for what we said.
I'm not going to get fired. I might. Who knows?
Life's short, and life's hard. Get a helmet.
Alrighty. Well,
until next time, move north.
Buy a truck.
Get someone pregnant.
Good night.